Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in right on time today. I am in trades. We'll go over those first, and then we'll check in on crypto as we head into the weekend. Another reminder, next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern on this YouTube channel, we're going to do a public live stream of my stock market coverage for the broader market open and just show you the routine that we do every day. Pretty much me being a sports announcer, but for the broader market, pointing out things that I'm observing. And in the next couple of weeks, Lori is going to be giving us a bunch of information. There's some new trading instruments in the futures world for sectors like the biotech sector, which has had great volatility. So if you're interested in futures trading, keep an eye out for that content. She's going to do a webinar sometime in the next couple of weeks. Got a lightning thunderstorm here. My dog, Sweetie Pants, is under my legs because she does not like thunder. We're ready to go. Where are y'all tuning in from? Thanks for the likes. 3 lives this weekend, or this week. And we'll check in on some of these miners as well. So right now I'm in a S&P 500 short. And I'm just looking for this lower high here. We've had great volatility today in both directions. And I have been leaving a good bit of money on the table. I did a good job of exiting some shorts on the pre-market drop. I went long, did not hold my long enough. Had a great short, exited a bit early. Played the long real well again, but exited it way too early. So it's been a day of reminders to leave some runners, but currently in a short and watching to see how much pullback we can see here from the bears, as we have the S&P 500 giving us an equilibrium. And we know to be looking for an equilibrium when you have this kind of volatility and range in both directions. It's the most common pattern, and it certainly helps dictate game plans. Looking for the bull entry, looking for the bear entry on the morning for the lower high, then the bull entry, having the support to play off of the low of the day. Now another bear entry under the high of regular trading hours. And we're going to look for a higher low, depending on how much we pull back here. But it's just beautifully clear. And I like it on the 30-minute time frame, whatever time frame here. And we might not get resolution before the end of today. The bulls still have favor. I would need to see another solid move down back into the middle of this range if we're going to be back to 50-50 as to the direction it could break. But right now, bulls are keeping their control. Pretty much the SPY has to confirm a 5-minute downtrend is what it boils down to. But we can see that Bitcoin is still relatively weak comparative to the broader market, and that has been consistent. I'm not going to be reading questions yet. I will tell you when I am, so save them for then. New Orleans, Serbia, Washington, Chicago, UK, Slovenia, Mexico, Texas, LA, Wareham, Mass, my neck of the woods. So we can see that the S&P 500 is in an hourly tightening range, or 30-minute, whatever time frame you want to be on. Bitcoin just had an hourly equilibrium break bear. So Bitcoin just hit the lowest price in 12 plus hours. And without even looking, we know that I'm about to pull up the Bitcoin divided by NASDAQ chart, and it's going to show us some red here. Not on the day, but red on the hour, as we are pulling back while the broader market is holding up. So Bitcoin has proving to do. Right now, this daily bounce attempt for Bitcoin is lackluster. These upper wicks are not confidence building for the bulls. A lot of altcoins look a lot better than Bitcoin as far as from the bull perspective. And I really like this visual guide right now. And we have to see trend changes. So Bitcoin has not had a 4-hour uptrend since we saw our most recent leg down. That's what has to happen into the weekend right now. So we have to see Bitcoin hold 22.4 and break 23.5 to confirm a 4-hour uptrend and convincingly hold this uptrending support line. And again, these upper wicks Not ideal. If we look at crypto as a whole, there's plenty of green out there. And again, there are names that are holding on a lot better than Bitcoin. Theta is leading the way today. But we're not going to have sustained confidence in continuation of weekly bounces unless Bitcoin joins along. So we've got to see this 4-hour trend change. This is key for me heading into the weekend. And if we drop to a lower low, then that's going to keep bears gaining some confidence looking for a weekly pullback. This is just a visual guide to be keeping an eye on. But it's the trend. We need this 4-hour trend change. It's an inverse head and shoulders. Let's go to the 6-hour and just condense it down a little bit. It's the bulls having to just change the trend. Just keep it simple. Have to change the 4-hour trend. If we don't, red flag for bulls. I'm also watching to see how we end the stock market today, because that has some implications as far as sentiment into the weekend. If we close at the low of the day or the high of the day, those are two very different setups. But again, right now, bulls have a bit of an advantage at the moment with some impressive dip buying today. So 4-hour trend change needed on Bitcoin, which means we need a 4-hour higher low. And a 4-hour higher low is found by changing the 15-minute trend back to the bulls. So the first indication of a 4-hour higher low is a 15-minute trend change back to the bulls. And we're clearly not in a 15-minute uptrend. So I know, again, I'm just going one time frame to the next. I start on the weekly. All right, we got weekly EMA 12 resistance. And watching for the potential of weekly consolidation. Bears have to prove to us that weekly consolidation is shaping up. They're not doing so yet. Bitcoin's going to very likely to form a weekly inside bar. Look how small that range is comparatively with just 2 trading days left to go over the weekend when we have generally low volume. So definitely anticipating a Bitcoin weekly inside bar. So I know what the weekly looks like. I zoom in. I say, all right, I'm looking for a daily move off of that uptrend support line. We need the 4-hour trend change to find a 4-hour higher low. We need a 15-minute trend change. So I can just stack all those different time frames on top of each other as far as knowing what I'm looking for and just going down the list from bigger picture to shorter term time frames. And that is how, after a significant amount of time put into charting and technical analysis, you get very comfortable with how all of these time frames are relating to each other. If you're in your first couple of years, it is extremely overwhelming and confusing. But putting in that time and effort, eventually it starts to all click. And it's really cool. I mean, that's the best part about teaching people charting and technical analysis, is when they have that aha moment as far as things. This is a 15-minute falling wedge to watch. I did not know that was there. So if we're going to set a 4-hour higher low, this needs to break bull. So now I have a very detailed 15-minute pattern that I'm watching. If we're going to shape up a 4-hour higher low, if this 4-hour falling wedge attempt breaks bear, then the probability of a 4-hour trend change to the bulls decreases, because that means our 4-hour retracement will be more significant, which means the percentage move required to head back to the high will be more significant. So as far as short-term direction, 15-minute falling wedge needs to break bull if we are going to set a 4-hour higher low. Dominance chart is still weak. That's a good sign for crypto bulls. That shows us altcoins holding on better. And it's just been a big old fade here. Monthly lower high. So I'm just watching the daily, and as long as we're in a daily downtrend, that's a point in, again, we have all these clues as to what we're looking at. We're looking at what the dollar is doing. We're looking at what the broader market is doing. We're looking at Bitcoin. We're looking at the relationship. How much stronger are the altcoins? The dominance chart is a factor there, where as long as we're in a daily downtrend and as long as we have daily EMA 12 resistance, then that's a check mark in the bull column. If we see the dominance chart bouncing, again, in this current environment, news won't even do it. I mean, if Bitcoin had the BlackRock news and that did nothing for dominance bouncing and for Bitcoin to get some attention away from altcoins, I really only see this chart bouncing when crypto is pulling back and the altcoins are pulling back more significantly than Bitcoin. Got a new baby turkey. It's a newborn single baby turkey after all the other baby turkeys are well on their way to late teenager stage. So, Ethereum is stronger than Bitcoin. Same thing though. I mean, look at the daily EMA 12. As we said in the past couple streams, any name that's holding daily EMA 12, whose retracement size was 50% or less, is definitely a stronger name. And Ethereum meets the bill as far as that criteria. So 4 hour, look at this consolidation. So there's no red flags here. We're ideally back testing and holding EMA 12 here. And if I look at the retracement size on this current pullback, it is close towards 50%. And comparative to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has pulled back 60% plus. So Ethereum is holding on better. And so again, just that analysis right there of the retracement size on this pullback, I know ETH BTC is showing some green. So solid green day today. I've been watching this 12-hour channel. This has been my guide for bull control, where I think we were watching this on the live stream recently as well. If we break this uptrend, it's a red flag for bulls. If it keeps holding, then the bulls keep confidence. And so we're heading up towards resistance right now, but it's keeping bull, and we're testing the recent high, and that's a good sign for the Ethereum bulls. So I like this 12-hour clarity. I'm going to keep watching it until we break one way or the other. Aggressive Ethereum bulls are scouting 4-hour higher lows here and looking for daily continuation over 1800, the recent high. What do we need for the 4-hour higher low? We need a 15-minute trend change. You can see the 15-minute trend change attempt is already far more developed than Bitcoin, because at the moment we're attempting a 15-minute higher low, whereas Bitcoin is coming off of a fresh low. So we saw Bitcoin's 15-minute falling wedge. We can watch something similar on Ethereum. And if this breaks bull and we confirm the 15-minute trend change, our 4-hour higher low will be set. Bears following through a little bit here. NASDAQ is weaker than the S&P 500 today. But we're still going to have to see. Well, I'll probably be on the 15-minute for clarity now. All right, so we got Ethereum as a stronger name. Binance, congrats to the bulls. Again, it was all about Binance BTC being up near all-time highs and now benefiting from all-time highs. Binance has a bit of an upper wick forming. Just looking for a 4-hour higher low. EMA 12 and the 4-hour uptrend are our guides. We're watching for 15-minute oversold conditions to potentially mark a 4-hour higher low. If bulls are going to remain strong, that would be the case. I don't really like this falling wedge-like pattern. I can watch that downtrending support line. Don't love the resistance there. But same deal. We're trying to shape up a 15-minute trend change to form a 4-hour higher low. So aggressive bulls are looking for potential positions into the weekend, looking for 4-hour higher low entries. So if I want to be an aggressive bull, maybe I have one entry right now, and maybe I'm reserving one more entry if we see another leg down into actual 15-minute oversold conditions. But essentially the way that our 4-hour time frames are shaping up right now, we can say if we do not set 4-hour higher lows in the near term, then it's a red flag for the bulls in the crypto space overall. And again, ideally, there's definitely not much interest in most traders looking short. There's definitely plenty of people out there in Twitter and in the trading world that look short, obviously, but obviously there's a big bias to those looking long. But again, if you're not comfortable shorting, practice. Practice grabbing short positions to protect long positions, because in an ideal world, we have our strongest names as our bull positions, Binance, Ape, Ethereum, and we protect that by shorting the weaker names. Ape 4-hour is a little concerning. We already got the daily higher high, but what is concerning about the 4-hour is this resistance line that bulls are struggling with. and the potential, meh. I'm just going to keep it simple and watch that resistance line and these 4-hour higher lows. If 715 holds, the bulls are just fine. There's nothing to worry about. If 715 breaks, we're shaping up for daily consolidation, and that would be a bit concerning because that would be a bull break straight into daily consolidation, which again would have us watching for a rising wedge. And so ape is a bit rising wedgy on the daily time frame. What's the most likely scenario on the weekly chart? A weekly lower high with tons of space for it to form. So if I know the most likely scenario on a longer term time frame, and then I zoom in and I find a pattern that is potentially affirming that longer term most likely scenario, it gains extra validity for me. So right now, just keep it simple. We got multiple daily inside bars. If they break bear, then this rising wedge on the daily time frame for ape is going to gain a lot of validity for me. And that's going to become a top watch for me over the next. You can see the BTC pairing, I was already keeping an eye on it, and it broke above, but the US dollar pairing has not. So if we're red tomorrow with the daily candle, then ape USDT is going to be a top watch for a rising wedge. But for now, it is still a lead bull because we did see that higher high on the daily time frame, and obviously any name that's seen that higher high is stronger than the names that have not. Theta, I was watching for that 12-hour head and shoulders to try and shape up. Where does that pattern negate? So let's say I'm looking for a 12-hour head and shoulders, and I'm scouting the 12-hour lower high. It was set, and we came down, and that pattern has to break 132 there to confirm. So as soon as we hold 132 and then break that high, I stop out. I didn't take this trade, but that would be a clear indication to me that, nope, you're wrong. That is not a 12-hour head and shoulders. That would have had to have rolled over there. It's very important to recognize when you are wrong. The sooner the better to bail on trades. So when we enter trades, we need criteria, and that's what a stop loss is, but criteria that invalidates our thesis. So as soon as that 12-hour lower high is set, I would say this is a potential 12-hour head and shoulders. And if that high of 145.2 breaks, that negates it for me. So nice move from the bulls to negate. But again, we've got the more bull breaks with no follow through that we see, the more cautious we need to be. So we'll see. If we're red tomorrow, it'll be a daily bull break with no follow through here. Another group of names we've been keeping an eye on, Litecoin, ADA, and Mana. Because of their weekly charts, look at Litecoin, LTC, BTC, just a 2-day equilibrium that's been tightening up for months. And again, why we care is because if it breaks bull, it confirms the first weekly uptrend in years for Litecoin. So Litecoin is approaching resistance. If we reject on this LTC, BTC pairing, it's possible we tighten up for another 4 days or so. ADA, also extremely tight, daily equilibrium over the last couple of weeks. And Mana, bull break of the daily levels. That's a good sign for bulls, but they need to now break the weekly level as well to confirm the first weekly uptrend since that metaverse pump where we topped out. So I'm viewing this as our weekly higher low, and now it's all about 4904. Watch these names, because if the crypto bulls are able to keep control, and if Bitcoin is able to set this daily higher low and head back up to the recent highs, I'm going to be watching for these three to pump. And it's going to happen with, if it happens, it will happen with a big volume spike. And it'll be the kind of move where these names are up double-digit percents on the day. So, and then we will also look, well, is that our last dash to trash to squeeze out the last push on these weekly bounces before consolidation? So it's tough to say, but definitely keep an eye on these names. If Bitcoin can find a bottom on this daily consolidation, confirm the 4-hour trend change that we were just looking at, I'm watching these names very close for their potential pumps. And again, I care more about their BTC pairings than I do about the USD pairings. If they fail, these are fairly weak rising wedges. But if they confirm, again, it'll be the kind of daily candle where we get big follow through. So set some alerts for Mana, Litecoin, and Cardano. Is that who ADA is? So just an example, Phil BTC is the example of the name that did that. Weekly trend change confirmed and massive short squeeze in Phil USDT. Fast and hard, but certainly very worthwhile. Definitely more thinly traded. Well, not massively so. All right, other names that we're keeping an eye on. Lead bear is going to be Sol as far as names that bears are scouting for a daily lower high. Why? Because it had the bear news overhang, and because of that bear news, it led to weakness comparative to peers. So is this our daily lower high already shaping up for Sol? Maybe. Still, 4 hour will be our guide, and just like Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, we are looking for a 4 hour high or low here. If I'm scouting Sol bearish, I want to see it push up further. I want to see 1 hour, well, we already did that. That marked our top. 1 hour RSI above 70. If we're looking for a daily lower high, again, we can use these RSI levels as bears just as much as we do as bulls looking to buy dips. So 1 hour RSI breaking above 70 marks the temporary top. I would want to see, if I want to be ideal comfortability, confirm a 4 hour trend change, make a move up 43, 44, and have the 4 hour RSI get to 70. Look where we've been pulling back the entire time on the bounce. Like clockwork. 70, just under 70, just over, again, just over. So if the trade is going to be ideal and come to me, I want 4 hour RSI hitting 70, scouting a daily lower high compared to 46.65. But that would require Bitcoin setting the daily high or low and a bullish couple of days here over the weekend. Names that are still in tightening ranges. Sol is one of them, obviously. So let's just go down the list real quick. Binance, Ape, some lead bulls. ICP, we're going to be scouting a daily lower high. Anything under 980, a lot of space for that to form. XTZ, bull break with no follow through. So if we're red tomorrow, XTZ is going to be on rising wedge watch with this uptrending resistance line. More like a channel at this point on the daily. Sand is in a tightening range. Anything under 143 is a daily lower high. We are going to see volume and volatility spike when these tightening ranges on the daily time frames break. Sushi, if we lose the 4 hour uptrend without breaking 167, our daily lower high will be set. GMT is a tightening daily range, one of the weaker tightening daily ranges. GMT can see volume spikes out of nowhere, so you definitely need to use stop losses. But we're keeping an eye out for a lower high, anything under 106. ADA, we're watching the BTC pairings for clarity. Doge is a really nice equilibrium. Look how long it's been forming. Since our low, July 13th. So 3 weeks of a tightening range. Anything under 7.5 is a 4 hour or is a daily lower high. Already did Sol. Atom. Waves had a bull break with 0 follow through. Gave all that back. Calling out a double top at 662. Keep an eye on FTT to potentially be a laggard for Binance. But what I would need to see is this 6 week sideways range for FTT BTC. If that breaks bull, that to me is an indication that we're seeing some rotation from Binance to FTT. And FTT divided by BNB, trying to get a bounce going. So you can watch both of those, but if we see a solid green bounce here, that would show us rotation from Binance back to FTT. So that's worth keeping an eye on. Equilibrium on AVAX. The more names that break the recent highs, the more likely everybody can do it. But so far, only a handful of our strongest names have done so. If Ethereum does it, that's going to be a big confidence booster for the altcoin space. So that's something we're watching closely. OMG tried. We got fairly close, but rejecting from 244. So again, if I'm a bear, I want things as extended as possible. If I'm looking to short, and when we were testing that resistance, we got 2% away. The hourly RSI was in the upper 70s at the high of that candle. The 15-minute RSI was in the upper 70s. The 5-minute RSI was in the upper 70s. So again, just like I like playing these bounces, and I want to see the hourly, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, all with RSI in the 20s, bears want the exact opposite. If I'm looking for the top fish, give me as many overextended RSI levels as possible to give me more confidence that bulls are going to be tired by the time we get to that resistance. All right. I'm reading the chat room now. 74 likes. We need some more. We need 100, please. S&P 500's got a little bounce attempt going. Bears need to confirm the 5-minute downtrend here. How is Bitcoin responding? Very similar on the 5-minute time frame. So near on the daily, that's what every single bull wants to see. So you look at this and you say, all right, we got our high of 476. We reject. We reject. That's convincing. We'll see where the daily candle closes in 5 hours. Bulls can't give it back, but a convincing bull break. And that's a laggard move. This was definitely one of the bounce attempts that was very unimpressive, at least over the past few weeks. This is almost like a glimpse in time. How many daily charts did we just look at that look exactly like this and we're trading right here, right now? The answer is at least 5 of them. So every single bull is hoping that their daily equilibrium breaks and gets this volume and volatility spike. And bulls just want a healthy 4-hour higher or low next consolidation. SPY bears are showing up, following through with the 5-minute. So 30-minute equilibrium continues to tighten. That's putting some downward pressure on Bitcoin. Heading towards 15-minute falling wedge support on Bitcoin. How would one efficiently set 1% stop loss for 5-minute back burners with 2 entries? By calculating, you have to do the math in advance or have some kind of bot or something. But I need to know if my entry is going to be at $100 and at $99, my average is going to be $99.50 and my stop loss has to be $98.50. So it has to be planned in advance if you're going to be that strict about it. I'm a little bit more loosey-goosey, but obviously a lot more comfortable with many years of playing oversold bounces. And I don't have that strict. And because I'll treat it differently, you know, the pullback we just saw on the weekly time frame, I would give way more wiggle room on playing those bounces than I would on, you know, first 15-minute oversold conditions, scouting a 4-hour high or low. Those are completely different scenarios. But I guess planning in advance would be the answer. YFI is another name that was a laggard that broke bull. Looking for the daily high or low, and the daily stair step of a lower high every day did just break bull with this inside bar bull break. Do we have a 4-hour uptrend? Not a clear one. I'd feel a lot better if we did. I guess you could say we have a 12-hour uptrend here. Nah, let's go 6-hour. I'm just looking at, I can't find a time frame that I like here, but we held this low and then broke. We need a more convincing break here. I'm calling that a double top. So we got a double top up at 11,250, we'll call it. Have to get over that level for the convincing daily higher low to be set. But this name will be looking for a daily low or high, anything under 1420. Bear's accelerating now. So keep that in mind that we can watch our retracement size now. So we got our high and we got our low. So bulls need to get back towards 12.3 for a 50% retracement. Anything less than that, and it will be a fairly weak bounce that will open up the door for the possibility of confirming a downtrend into weekly consolidation. So bulls need to get over that double top and get over 12,000 to try and see that retracement grow a bit. Best case for the broader market bulls would be finding the 15-minute higher low now and controlling into the close. We'll see how this bounce goes. So dot daily higher low is set. That is our most important level of 768, double bottom. And now it's all about 921 and the 4-hour uptrend. If we lose 4-hour higher lows, it'll be a daily lower high potentially shaping up. Dot BTC is a bit stronger. So keep an eye here, because if dot BTC breaks bull, that will increase probabilities. And this is a nice tight range. If dot BTC can get this going and clear these two levels, then that US dollar pairing can definitely see another leg up. Bulls need to get to the highest levels in almost 3 months. I'm not going to look at US cannabis right now. I've been covering cannabis in the daily market videos a decent bit this past week. People message me, why don't you ever cover cannabis anymore? Well, you're not watching the videos, bub. For equilibriums, you want to be playing off of support. So what level would I be comfortable getting in on LTC, BTC at? Daily supports, 2-day higher lows. I definitely don't like buying resistance breaks. So here's a rejection from resistance, and we pull back and we get within support. Because again, I want to get as close as possible to my invalidation level. And so if I'm looking at this pullback here from that low, we would need to drop 2.2% to tell me you are wrong. From where we stand right now, we would need to drop 7% to tell me I am wrong, because we could reject from resistance and then form a higher low and then break bull. So it's always so much better, unless you're in blue sky breakout or in a FOMO environment, it is so much better to buy on consolidation if you're looking long for best risk reward setups. So maybe a 12-hour higher low at this point. You know, if I want to look at the 12-hour here, we got a big bull move up. I'm hoping that we reject. If I want a position here, I'm hoping we reject from this resistance and pull back, and I look for a 12-hour higher low entry. QNT BTC, weekly higher lows set. So just a slow grind up. Bulls need to maintain the higher lows. So we got a low, higher low, higher low. So I would say anything above 4289 is another higher low, and bulls just have to keep those going and try and grind the whole way back up towards the recent high. If we lose the daily higher lows, we will then have a weekly lower high shaping up for a continued tightening range. Big bounce on. Decent bounce. Bitcoin right off support. Still trying to hold that fallen wedge. Do I set alerts on the trend lines? No. Trend lines are just visual guides. So I'm just looking at trend lines to tell me, is this still possibly a falling wedge? How do you manage and have self-control to be able to walk away and from being stopped out? How do you stop yourself from keep re-entering and retrying? So I have discipline in every avenue of my life. I wake up before the sun every single day. It doesn't matter if it's a weekend. I stay healthy. I eat healthy. I want to eat shit every day. I want to eat Taco Bell. I want to drink a beer every single day. But I don't because I know it's not good for me. You have to have discipline in every avenue of your life to have discipline as a trader. They're not mutually exclusive. You can't be a disciplined trader and not disciplined in, when you go shopping, whatever it is. It's every single avenue. And that's why so many traders talk about how they had to become a better person to be a good trader. You have to change your entire lifestyle and mindset. It is a lifestyle. Trading is a lifestyle. So you have to work on that discipline. I'm 5 minutes early to everywhere I go ever. I'm late 2% of the time, and it's because there was traffic. So incorporate discipline into every avenue of your life. Start a workout routine. Start doing push-ups, 20 push-ups every single day. Prove to yourself that you're disciplined enough to do that. And then you can prove to yourself that you're disciplined enough to walk away from the computer. And there are some people that don't have that discipline and recognize it. And you either make it a life goal to then gain that discipline and change your life, or you say, well, trading's just not for me. And that may be the answer. I have friends that have addictive personalities. Trading is not for them. Gala. So Gala daily, still inside bars. These need to break bull for us to say that our daily high or low is 5691. We don't have an uptrend yet. Oh, yes, we do. Okay. We held this support down here. Got to get over 70.58 to see the highest level in X amount of months. This is definitely still one of the weaker bounces. The weekly chart is extremely unimpressive. So bulls definitely still have proving to do. Have to see another leg up here and take out these two resistances. If we were to drop down and break 569 from here, that would definitely be a red flag for bulls. Theta targets. So I just look back at previous resistance. So we're up at 165. 185 is the next level that stands out to me. There's just not much in this range on many altcoins because of how hard we dumped. We didn't really establish, if you're stair-stepping down, you're establishing resistances all the way down. But when you're free falling, we can zoom into the 12-hour during that free fall and pick out some levels, but they are fairly few and far between. There's not a whole lot between 160 and 194, which is obviously a very wide range. Theta still got the hourly uptrend and hourly EMA 12 support. Once we lose the hourly uptrend, we'll zoom out and scout a 4-hour high or low. Bulls want to see a nice strong close. Theta's another one that's just been a laggard. I mean, not doing anything on this bounce the last month, and now trying to play catch up. Honestly, I don't chart Hex because the volume is extremely... Can't even look at Hex BTC. Oh, there it is. The volume is so low. What were we looking at here? Equilibrium that broke bear. So, for me, I'm just looking at our low, the high of the bounce, the higher low. This is the weekly time frame is what I would care about, and I'm just zoomed in here for some more detail. But if we do not break 2626, it's just a weekly lower high in a continued tightening range. So that is the level that matters the most. If we reject from weekly EMA 12, we're going to remain in this tightening range, but these are the three levels that matter big picture. And it's possible we tighten up for another, month plus. Atom BTC on the weekly, we had a rising wedge that broke bear, but no bear follow through, which is a good sign for the bulls. Now we've got a daily equilibrium. High, low, lower, high, higher, low, up towards resistance. So I'd be watching the daily over the weekly just because these are nice details. If we reject, we're going to continue tightening up. Obviously, the bulls prefer the break to new highs. But as far as price action, this is all I care about until we break one direction or the other. It's just a nice and clear equilibrium. All right, one more little check-in here. We do have the broader market bulls are attempting to put in some 15-minute higher lows. They need to control from now into the close over the next hour, 15 minutes to help Bitcoin shape up this 15-minute falling wedge to help altcoins shape up their 4-hour higher lows. And that's what we're looking for in the short term. And we'll get those answers probably within the next 2 hours or so. Be curious to see what the price does once the broader stock market closes at 4 p.m. All right. Appreciate you all tuning in. I'll see all you Chart Guys members tomorrow. And I'll see all you everyone else probably Monday. Have a good Friday and a good weekend. Don't forget to do good things.